Now, look up the term criminal mastermind and you'll find some of history's most infamous names. Lucky Luciano, Al Capone, blokes who lived on the top of the underworld.
On the top of the underworld? That's kind of the middle... They lived in Middle Earth. We're not interested in them here at Weekend Sunrise.
It's one of those days.
They don't really exist. Oh, well, Lucky Luciano did. Instead, we found crooks whose stupidity you won't believe. Take a look.
If laughter could kill, there's a pretty good chance this guy would go away for life. Kitted out in a Gumby suit, bumbling crim Jacob Kiss tried to do over this 7-Eleven in San Diego.
The clerk, thinking it was a joke, said, "You know, I don't have time for this, I'm cleaning."
Not wanting to stretch things out any further, he did the dash, along with his accomplice, who didn't even bother with a disguise. The cops are still deciding if they'll bother charging them.
Oh, no!
He's not the first crazy crook to try it on. Check out Darth Vader and Santa Claus.
And he explained that he was robbing the bank because Santa had to pay his elves.
But idiocy can be tricky to hide.
I'm gonna go with my instinct on this one.
Aussies Luke Carroll and Anthony Prince became known as the Dumb and Dumber robbers when they held up a bank in Colorado wearing name tags and making no attempt to disguise their thick Australian accents. They were soon nabbed, hopping a flight to Mexico with the cash.
He is just so embarrassed.
This London bloke knows that feeling. He was left hanging around when he tried to sneak into a house through a window.
It was just such a comical sight that we just thought, no, we're going to leave you there till the police arrive.
Getting out can be just as tricky. Last year in Melbourne, a robber found himself locked in a convenience store. Desperate, he chucked milk on the doors before eventually finding the exit button. But in the world of idiot crims, not everyone is quite so lucky.
Who chucks milk on a door to try and open it? Is that a fail-safe method of opening a door? One man who's seen his fair share of interesting suspects is Bill Potts, director of Potts Lawyers in Brisbane, and joining us here in the studio is Daily Telegraph columnist Joe Hildebrand, who, I don't know, just likes weird stuff.
Also, he's a dumb criminal.
Potential dumb criminal. We don't know why Joe's here, but he's here. Morning, Joe.
Hey, we already said you're a Daily Telegraph journalist. Don't go on with a tautology about being a dumb criminal as well.
I don't know why I'm here already. I thought I was here for Occupy Sydney. Where's everyone else?
Bill, we'll start with you. A man with 30 years of experience in criminal law. Now, you're sure to have come across some pearlers in that time.
Oh, absolutely. There have been some absolute crackers. I acted for a fellow once who went to rob a corner store. He took a whole pile of cigarettes and cleaned out the till. And when he came back 10 minutes later to change the cigarettes to the brand that he actually wanted, I was surprised when he got caught. My favourite.
Well, once you're a menthol guy, you're always a menthol guy.
Absolutely. My favourite is, however, a woman who rang up the police to complain that she'd had a break and enter at her house and that these people had stolen a dope crop.
Oh, well,
the end result was they came around and arrested him.
Thanks,
medicinal purposes.
Bill, how difficult is it to defend someone when you're sitting there in court thinking, oh my goodness, these people are very stupid?
It's almost impossible. The reality is that some of these people are so dumb that they give good, hard-working criminals a bad name.
Joe, it's hard to see how you can get a fair trial when the media goes so crazy over these cases. You know, everyone's been laughing at you for 3 months already.
Oh, I know how that feels. No, well, it's the media's fault again, is it? It's the media's fault. It's always the media's fault. I mean, really, we're just
Pretty
a
much.
little battling Aussie company trying to get a head start.
News Limited.
News Limited, yeah, we're just trying to... Look, the media can't help it. You can't help it. Picking on dumb people is fun. It's great. That's why George Bush got re-elected. You know, I mean, it's just it's the best time ever. So
I love this guy with the onion.
That's right. I mean, I don't think life gave these people a fair trial. I mean, you can't expect a judge to. I mean, if you end up wearing underpants on your head, chances are your life hasn't gone the way
It's
you
also very
expected.
dangerous because you could asphyxiate yourself during the robbery.
That's right. There's also some
With the
very
gossip.
important OH&S issues. There should be human resources needs to get in there and.
Joe, how about those Dumb and Dumber Aussie bank robbers? They did time in a US prison. We can laugh about them, but they've got a bit of a shock, didn't they? I mean, they had a pretty rough time.
It's tough. I mean, you know, there are some lessons to be learned out of this. One is if you rob a bank, you will probably go to jail. I'm not sure if they teach that in schools as much as they used to. And I mean, they are dumb and dumb. I mean, it's a bit unfair because it's hard to know which is the dumber one out of the two of them.
Yeah.
So it's a bit unfair to call them Dumb and Dumber. But it's not all bad. I mean, even though they probably are the stupidest criminals going around, they're still smarter than most Americans.
Hey, Bill, of all the criminals that you've come across in your long years in the criminal law, what percentage of them would you describe as masterminds and what percentage as stupid?
The masterminds would be less than 1%.
Right.
The medium, hard-working crims probably around about 20%. But the reality is most criminals get caught, and they get caught because they simply can't think ahead.
Yeah.
So very large proportions are very, very stupid people.
It is true. I mean, you have to be pretty stupid to be a criminal. Like, if you're really smart, you know, working for the media, that's where the real money is. I mean, seriously.
Cha-ching.
Am I right, guys? Champagne afterwards.
There's a very eminent Sydney QC, and I won't name, who he tells a story about his younger days when he was defending a fellow on a charge of being caught in flagrante delicto with a farm animal, you see. And,
that only happened once, and I got acquitted.
The guy apparently leapt to his feet during the prosecutor's opening address and said, Your Honour, it was not a calf, it was a heifer. The prosecution's making me out like some sort of pervert.
Yeah.
That's the short version of the story.
At 7:47, thank you for that
No one's
story.
watching it, are they?
Bill, thank you very much
Bill,
for
thank
that.
you.
Joe,
Anytime.
once again, for your wisdom and insight.
Thank you very much. I'm just here to help.